Our first guest tonight is a legend, if ever there was one, and she's an Oscar-winning actor, director, graduate of Yale, and Silencer of Lambs. Next, she stars in the long-awaited return of True Detective. Season 4 premieres Sunday on HBO and Max. Please welcome Jodie Foster. I saw you on the television on Sunday night at the Golden Globes. You were nominated for Nyad, which is a great movie about a very interesting woman. I happen to know Diana Nyad.
Do you?
Yeah.
And Bonnie too?
Yes, and Bonnie too. And yes, very lovely, very interesting, fun, funny people.
Really, quite a pair.
And so you present. You know, it occurred to me that you've been going to these award shows since how old? How old were you at the first one?
Well, I did the Oscars when I was like 8 or 9. I sang at the Oscars.
You did? What did you sing?
Some awful song from an animated movie, and they made me wear like bright orange vinyl shoes, and I was just mortified. I just couldn't believe I had to wear these orange shoes, so that's a little PTSD moment.
After raising children, do you ever think about that, like at 8 or 9, singing? Because like you go to a kid's recital or something, it's like it's a big deal and they're nervous. You're out there singing on the Oscars.
Yeah, I think about that. You know, I thought about that when they were little, when they were like lazy around, and I'd be like, "What are you doing? Get a job. What's the matter with you? What's this summer vacation thing?"
How old were you the first time you were nominated for an Oscar?
I had done the movie at 12. I was 13.
13 years old. You're sitting there for Taxi Driver, right?
Taxi Driver, yeah. Good film.
You and Robert De Niro, obviously, Marty Scorsese, obviously, who were there at the...
Yes, they were there. They were seated right next to me, which was kind of amazing.
It is amazing that the 3 people from that movie would still be, like, there
alive.
And nominated and working.
Here we are.
And alive.
Alive, incredible.
I mean, even that is an accomplishment. So we have a photograph that I'd love to share. 1977, your first Oscar nomination. Wow. There you are.
That was my date.
And your date.
That was my date, because he was the cutest boy in my class. Todd Katz. You're out there somewhere, Todd.
Todd is his name?
Yeah.
My dog's name.
And that's my mom.
And your mom. Yeah. So did you ask Todd if he would go to the Oscars with you?
I did, and he had a little tuxedo and everything. He didn't like me anymore after that.
Did Todd ever try to run out the door? Your Todd, I mean?
Not really, but wrong Todd.
Do you keep in touch with Todd?
I do. I run into him every once in a while, like at the Baskin Robbins or something.
When's the last time you saw Todd?
It was at the Baskin Robbins.
At Baskin Robbins? We have a surprise for you, actually. Todd is here with us tonight. There he is. He wants to know if you want to go get some ice cream.
That's really funny. He's gonna laugh, man.
I was reading something, an interview where you were saying that De Niro and Scorsese were scared of you when you were shooting that movie.
Yeah, which I understand. I was 12, and they had to say things like, can you pull his fly down? And it was a little awkward.
Yeah,
I had made a lot more movies than they had, so I was like, whatever, just move over.
You had made a lot more movies than they had at that age?
Yes,
wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they were a little scared. Scorsese especially couldn't stop giggling. He just kept giggling every time he talked to me. He'd start giggling, and then De Niro had to take over. And
really? Does he still giggle when he talks to you?
Scorsese giggles with everybody. Yes, he does.
He's like a Tickle Me Elmo in a lot of ways.
He is like a Tickle Me Elmo.
Who scared you working with the many people that you worked with?
Oh, well, there were, a lot of legends when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Lucille Ball, I think, was the scary one.
What did you do with Lucille Ball?
I did the Lucille Ball show, but not when she was, like, younger and happy and doing comedy. She was, like, rough and older. And she was super scary, and I don't know. I don't think she liked kids that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, even seeing her in color would be disconcerting, I think. This is post I Love Lucy, and then, oh, yeah, so she wasn't, probably,
She did, yeah, the hair color, I think, it was a clown thing, because it was a tangerine she had a tangerine thing going on in her head.
For sure. Yeah, it was
and that was scary.
Yeah, I would think it would be a little bit scary unless you're at a birthday party or something like that. This True Detective, well, we're going to see a clip from that when we come back. I saw it last night. I love this series, and I know Matthew McConaughey is still an executive producer on the show.
He is, because he's in there somewhere in the mix.
Okay, all right, very good.
It's a wonderful, wonderful show. We loved making it, and it's just the thing I'm the most proud of.
We're going to take a look at a clip from the new season of True Detective with Jodie Foster after this. We'll be right back.
You live here all year long? All alone, just like monks? What are they looking for? Digging that ice up.
I think the origin of life.
Ah, that thing.
Well, that's a heck of a thing to see on a dry erase board. We are back with Jodie Foster. That is True Detective, Season 4. And each season of True Detective is entirely its own thing.
Yeah, it's an anthology series, which we love. It means it's like a full, long movie. Each one of them is a long movie.
Yeah, this one's supernatural. This one, well, I think the first one, yeah, there has been some supernatural themes. This one seems a little extra supernatural.
It's very spooky, and of course the environment is like nothing else that we usually come into contact with. It's the Arctic in northern Alaska, and with lots of women, so that makes it different too. And yeah, I just love this one.
Typically, there aren't in these stations we see from time to time up in Alaska. Typically, there aren't a lot of women in those stations.
Well, they're scientists, and as we know, science is behind in terms of having women doing science. So mostly they're men up there, and in this case, there are men and they're missing.
There are men and they're missing.
And I'm not telling you anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's it would, yeah, you'd kind of ruin it if you did tell us anymore. Did you shoot it in Alaska?
We actually shot in Iceland because Alaska, the area of Alaska that we needed to go to is sort of inaccessible. They barely have any roads, and it would have been too difficult with the weather much colder there than it is in Iceland. So we shot everything in Iceland, which couldn't have been a more amazing, extraordinary place. Reykjavik, great town.
Did you see the Northern Lights while you were up there?
Oh, yeah. We saw the Northern Lights all the time.
Is that like something, yeah, they're just like, yeah, the Northern Lights, they're the, you know, it's like when you live in Vegas and you see the Treasure Island
well,
or
you
something?
don't see them every night. Yeah, you don't see them every night. There's some nights, there's more, it's something about magnetism and you have to have no wind and, you know, certain conditions. But there were moments where we'd be out shooting on frozen lakes and stuff, and then we'd all look up and suddenly the whole sky was green.
Wow, that's pretty great. Otherwise, though, it seems like kind of a terrible place to work, yes? No. I mean,
actually, no.
It's like dark all the time, isn't it?
Well, it is dark, yeah, well, it depends. I mean, from December, let's say 12th or the 15th to maybe the beginning of March, it's pretty dark. So, you know, the sun comes up around 11:45 a.m., and then you try to poke your head out so you get a little vitamin D for an hour or so, and then
it goes right back down.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really come up. So it's just ambient light until about 2:30 or 3.
Ooh, see, that's what I was saying when I said it sounds kind of terrible to work there. Yeah.
It's not bad. We come up with other stuff to do.
Did you get, it's a place I want to visit, not necessarily in the winter, but I definitely want to visit there sometime. Did you, like, get to know the people? Did you get out there?
Yeah. They have great music in Reykjavik and just wonderful people. They have these, this tradition of these kind of baths, these warm water baths that come up from the thermal waters that they have, and everybody goes every single day or at least once a week, and kids and old people and everybody in your neighborhood. There are little public baths all over the place, and then some more remote areas where you go from the hot water to the cold plunges.
Do you like that, the cold plunge thing?
I do.
It's very trendy now. Oh, you do? Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. And even sometimes where you jump in the water, like the regular ocean water as well.
The people up there, is it true they believe in elves in Iceland?
They 100% believe in elves.
They do?
They do, and they're not funny elves either. They're kind of mischievous elves. So they're elves like, you know, you're missing your keys. They're like, oh, elves. No. Or you get one sock from the dryer, and it's, you know, the elves got it. And they're Christmas elves, because there are specific Christmas elves, and there's a whole story behind
shelves
it.
at our
It's
home.
just awful. It's like, you know, mothers eating their children.
What?
And all the little kids are like, oh, Grindelwald. You know, they're all super excited about these elf stories that are not nice.
Do you think they really believe in the elves, or it's just like kind of part of the folklore of the country? Yeah.
Well, no.
No.
They totally believe in the elves.
They do believe in the elves?
They do. They do.
Oh, I'm definitely dressing like an elf when I go there. And I'm going to wreak havoc on the nation.
Yes, you are. I can tell. You
Can I ask you about something that it was a newsworthy item, I guess, or at least it made the news. There was a quote about Gen Xers at magazine.
Gen Zers, Gen Xers.
Zers, sorry, I don't know, one of the letters. We skipped right by Y, it feels like. You said, and correct me if I have any of this wrong, they were really annoying, especially in the workplace. They're like, nah, I'm not feeling it today. I'm going to come in at 10:30 a.m. Or in emails, I'll tell them, this is all grammatically incorrect. Did you not check your spelling? And they're like, why would I do that? Isn't that kind of limiting?
Yeah, I got some grief from my sons for that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, because, you know, you're older and you tend to do that. Like, well, in my day,
Yeah, right.
we had to walk to school with crampons on or something.
Everything we did was right, and everything what we did was good for us.
Right.
And
But the new generation, you know, they're lucky because they can say, they learned that they could say no. And we didn't know that, right? We didn't have the kind of freedom. And there's double edge to that. There are things that you learn when you're unfree. And overly disciplined and
like, for instance, if somebody gives you a pair of vinyl orange shoes to wear on the Oscars,
just wear them and shut up.
When you're 8 years old, you put them on and you sing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do have a lot of those stories as a kid, and I'm always saying that to my kids where they're cold. You're like, cold? You don't know what cold. Let me tell you what cold is. You know, try being 6 years old at 3 in the morning and somebody's painting you with makeup all over your body. Like, I have a lot of that.
I'm sure the kids really enjoy that.
My day, there's a lot of that.
Well, it's great to see you.
See you
True
too.
Detective, season 4 premieres Sunday on HBO. And Max Jodie Foster, everybody. We'll be back with Jeffrey Wright.